Hey, K0LWC here with an emergency broadcast message for all my ham radio operator friends around the world. My friend Alex, W7HU, what a great guy, great ham radio operator, great ambassador for the hobby. I know this is really important to him, and that's why I want to share it with all of you. He's uncovered that the Cuban government is jamming amateur radio frequencies in the 40-meter band. Alex was communicating back and forth with folks in Cuba talking about what's been happening on the ground, and shortly thereafter all the frequencies they've been using have become jammed by a signal in Cuba. So take a listen to what Alex uncovered from Cuba with this jamming signal.
That's another one. There's another one. Another one. Another one. That's in 130. That was the first frequency that we used. That was the first frequency that we used to talk on Sunday when we heard the news that the Cuban people went out to the street.
Now, jamming isn't new between the US and Cuba. I can find reports back to the 1960s of Cuba jamming US broadcast stations in Florida. Fast forward a little bit further ahead, think about the Cuban Missile Crisis. President Kennedy was crafting messages that they were broadcasting, hoping to break through to people in Havana. That then Castro went out and got himself some high-powered shortwave transmitters from Czechoslovakia, put those in Cuba to then block transmissions from then President Kennedy here in the US. 1984, the US and Miami brought to the air Radio Marti, which really, I said, provides a more unbiased and focused news on things like freedom and capitalism and the things that we enjoy in the US, hoping to reach residents in Cuba to educate them on what they could have if they could just overthrow the regime that they have. All of these things have led to more jamming. Cuba really picked up their jamming activity after Radio Marti came on the air in the mid-1980s, and it's kind of continued. In recent years, it's kind of slowed down and become less of a problem, but I guarantee you now it's going to pick up again. It's going to become another huge thing of jamming from Cuba because of what they're experiencing in their country right now. But if you're in Florida, this isn't really new. This isn't news to you because people are actually used to this. In fact, WINZ, I think it's 9:40 a.m. in Miami, they're actually only licensed for 10,000 watts at night. They have regularly run at 25,000 watts at night under a special authorization from the FCC because jamming is so prevalent in South Florida. The FCC has granted many stations down there the ability to run a higher power at night to overcome jamming from Cuba. Like, this is a completely normal thing for broadcast engineers in South Florida. Although again, it's gotten better, but it's about to get a whole lot worse. And you got to remember, Cuba does not sign on to the ITU. And if you don't know what the ITU is, it's like the kind of global governing body of frequency allocation and how we think of how we allocate spectrum. They are not a signatory in ITU. They don't care anything about that. So anything is fair game when it comes to Cuba. And so now that they're jamming ham bands, we have to ask ourselves, what can we do? Well, Alex wants us to go ahead, listen in throughout 40 meters, pay special attention to if you actually observe jamming on the bands, and report it on a thread on QRZ. I will link that down in the description. So again, if you want to listen and know where to report it, look down in the description. I have the link for you. So let's do that, guys. Let's try to band together. Let's keep our ears in the bands. Let's listen for jamming coming from Cuba, and let's start archiving it. And I don't know where it's going to go from here, but I think that's the least we can do. Again, I know this topic is super, super important to Alex, and so that makes it super important to me because Alex is a great guy and a great operator, and I want to help him out by spreading the word to my audience, to all of you. So again, if you got an HF rig or just even pull up an SDR, listen for this jamming signal like you've heard from Alex, who just showed it in the video, and let's document this, and let's try to help the people of Cuba somehow that we can using our technical abilities here in the United States. So thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Share this video. Let's spread it around to other ham radio operators around the world, and let's get some ears in the bands and listen for this terrible, terrible stuff that the Cuban government is doing to the ham bands. Again, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. And let's share it around, guys. So until next time, I'll see you later.